Well, listen, I'll just say this, and this is what Nicole I know has been saying: never say never for a
Okay.
reunion.
Okay. Love
Yep,
to hear
and
that.
I
Love to hear that.
agree. And
Yeah.
we agreed together, and like I said, we're all sisters. I mean, I have all brothers, and I watch how they are together, and I'm like, hey, everyone, just chill out.
Totally.
But
Yeah. That's good to
we
hear.
all, listen, we've spent many years together, and you know, we all love each other. It's like you look at other bands and you look at other things that have happened and how they've all come back together, and you've gone, it's sort of like look at No Doubt. They just came back together and they did Coachella, and it was just like, whoa, I never saw that coming. And it's the great thing about the Pussycat Dolls is that there's no timeline, you know.
I want to gab. Today we're gabbing with Robin Antin, one of the co-owners of Playground LA, stars of the new show on Hulu, Playground, and she is also the founder of the Pussycat Dolls. So, Robin, I've long been an admirer of you from afar, and
Thank you.
I am just so excited to chat with you all about the show, your career, everything. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm so good. It's been really fun doing all these shows, and I got it this morning. I'm like, okay, get it together. Got it. It's honestly like this is like dream come true.
I'm sure. Yeah. So Robin, you've done other reality TV before, right? You've done the Pussycat
I have,
Dolls Presents. You've done
yeah,
some guest judging on So You Think You Can Dance over the years.
you
So
know it
how
all.
I know it all. I've done my research. But I mean, how does this experience compare to that past experience? What has this like been like for you in the year 2023, 2024?
Well, this is we Kenny and I own Playground. So those other reality shows, which I loved doing because I am really good at finding talent, and I can spot a star. I know like a star when I see them, and I know how to curate and help them become what they need, because sometimes they don't have all they don't have all the
The
pieces. They
guidance,
might
right?
Yeah, they need guidance from me. So um and there's artists out there where I'm like, they need me, you know what I mean? And so it's different in the way, and I did that on those on especially on Search for the Next Doll and Girlicious. I did that on those shows, but they were very like, quick cuts that we had to listen to the producers. We had to kind of like, okay, now it's going to be these people. Now it's these people. This was kind of a little bit more free form and a little bit more organic, where, okay, we're just going to have a dance class. Robin, you're teaching. Deanna, you're teaching. Dexter, Alexis, all of you are different people are teaching. And we get to show the best dancers. This is different because we've created a community of um what dancers, why people love to dance, why what they get out of dancing, and what they're doing it for. They're doing it because they want to work and they want to be on tours and videos, and they want to make it a career, which is what I did. And then I just kept going and going and going, and this is where I, how I started. And that's how I started the Pussycat Dolls, because I was very inspired by musicals and by burlesque and by all of these different things, and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And I just made it happen.
You did it.
And I did it, and I kept it going and going. And I feel like that's really what it takes, is like, what I'm about is like, don't give up. Keep dancing. Doesn't matter how old you are, because there's two different things. If you're younger, I do a lot of privates with younger girls, and I give them sort of the advice of like, keep dancing. I do like to advise to take ballet class and to get the training, because it does help a lot with your foundation and the way that you move. But, ballet these days at our studio, we don't do as much, but we still talk about training a lot, and it does help. And they really listen to us because that's what we come from.
Yeah.
So they're listening to the people that have done so many tours, so many videos, choreographed everything. We've done so much, and so they look at us like, wow, like we're learning from the best. And Kenny and
Absolutely.
I are the perfect partners because Kenny's done so much, I've done so much, and what we bring together is a perfect dynamic and the perfect
Yeah.
marriage of business that we've created something that's so incredibly different. And when you walk into playground, it's even just the image and the sort of the look of it, with the brick walls and it's black and it's cool, and the play letters, which actually were from the Pussycat Dolls.
Fun
Um,
fact. I love
those,
that. I love that.
I know those were the Pussycat Dolls letters, and we only had play, and I thought we were eventually going to get ground. Then we just said, you know what? F it. Let's just leave it play. And it turns out that we play became the biggest thing ever when you look on Explorer page
Oh
on your
yeah. Oh, you
Instagram.
always
Like,
I always see it. I always see play. Yep.
yeah, yeah. And then we created like a lower level of beginner hip hop, beginner heels, and that's for everyone. And then a class where you don't even have to learn choreography, it's just grooves. So it gives people, every single person in the world, a chance to be able to, everybody wants to dance. Everybody wants to have a dancer's body, whatever kind of body you were born with, but it creates that nice kind of like, like it makes you feel good. It's really about, it's honestly just about the passion. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really what it starts from. You know what I mean? It's not
Yep.
about us coming together and saying we're going to make a ton of money. We came together and said we want to do this because we want to dance. That's what we want to do. That's what I want to live my life dancing forever. And that's what I do. And that's why I never feel, I feel good about myself.
Right.
And that's all I want to do. I just want to be happy, and I want to feel good, and I want to make everyone else feel good. And I'm not saying there's not drama,
Oh, there
and
is.
there's
Yeah.
drama.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to ask you about was because in the first episode we see that you and Kenny, who you clearly both have such passion for dance and for playground, but you also butt heads because you both know that you're good at what you do, and you know a star when you see one. He is, you guys think a little bit differently about things, but I'm curious if like from your experience, like when you bring creativity and business together like that, I feel like because there's so much passion, there's almost always going to be a little bit of butting heads, but ultimately, I guess you and Kenny still kind of see eye to eye on base level, right? Is that kind of the
So,
dynamic?
yeah, it's so true. It's like when we disagree, we're actually agreeing, but we have this thing where we want to say, no, I don't know about that. I think we should do it a different way. And then I say, no, I don't know about that. We go back and forth, and then we always come together and go, you know what? That's either, well, it could be you were right or you were right. Or we say, you know what? We're saying the same thing. We're literally like, we don't have to, send 5 million texts to each other
Right.
and voice notes and all of that. And we don't even have to talk on the phone. We see each other, and we're so good together. We're such good partners together because we laugh so much. We have the same sense of humor, and we also know that like this is a business, and this is so important to keep the business running smoothly, and like not ever, if there's ever any drama or ever anything that's happening, we have to jump right in, and we have to fix it immediately. When we didn't have security, we immediately were like, we need security. We got to
Yeah.
take care of our dancers. We got to take care of everyone. And that's what we do. We take care of everyone. And then there's inside of that, there's the drama with the teachers and the dancers and all of that. And we try to put fires out, but at the end of the day, and listen, Deanna is someone who loves me, and I love her, and I've um uh, um, brought her in and
Yeah, you
hired her
have.
for many, many jobs, many other jobs. And I respect her and I know that she's really good at what she does. I've watched her kill at dancing. And when I went to Kenny and I said, I think that she should have a class, and he said, I don't think she should. It doesn't matter that she's a good dancer. A good dancer doesn't make a good teacher. And
Right.
he was right. But the truth is that she really is a good teacher because she's got a loud voice. She's very focused. She well, at times she can go off the handle. And she, and who knew that her class was gonna be sold out? I mean,
Right.
we didn't know that, you know what I mean? I didn't even know that, but I
You took a
did know that
chance.
she was, yeah, I did know that she was not only a great dancer, but I did know that she could help. She comes from a great background of dancing, and I knew that, and she can do things that a lot of dancers can't do.
Right.
So I just thought, that's the kind of teacher that we need.
Yeah.
And Kenny wasn't happy about it, but we did it.
Yeah, totally. So Robin, Megan Thee Stallion is an executive producer on this show, and she appears in at least one episode of it. And Dexter's worked with her. I believe that he said that on the premiere. What was it like having her sort of involved here a little bit in this orbit for Playground?
I mean, it was so incredible, like having her be, when she walked in and she was auditioning for dancers and she was looking for, all different types. And, um, did I tell you about her telling me that I'm her idol?
No, you did not tell me that. I'm
Okay.
glad you told me that
So
now.
Okay, so when she came in and she was looking for dancers, and she was looking for her video and for her tour, and she asked us to pick, like, just a plethora of dancers. We brought in a bunch of different types and all the different, just every different type you can imagine. And obviously she wants great dancers. So we brought in all the really advanced dancers. And when we went, she came in and I was like, oh my God, Meg, it's so nice to meet you. I'm such a fan. And she was getting her makeup done, and then she came in and she sat down at the table with me, and Kenny was on the other side, and he was standing and he was kind of like telling everyone, like, here's your formation, here's what you're going to do. Dexter was choreographing, everyone was working, and I was sitting with Megan, and she grabbed my hand and she goes, Robin, I have to tell you, I'm such a fan of you and the Pussycat Dolls. She's like, you have no idea. I grew up watching you, and I'm so, like, it's blowing my mind that I'm sitting next to Robin Antin, and I'm like, this is not happening right now. Like, I'm like, you are Meg the Stallion.
I
Like,
love
I
it.
am. I know it was honestly like outrageous, but having her as an executive producer has made us, I mean, we were like crying, like that this was happening. Like, never in a million years would have thought, and that Kenny would have thought that she would be an executive producer. So,
It's major.
it's really hats off to her and her team and our team, producers and everyone that made it all come together.
Love it. Love it. So, Robin, I did want to go back a little bit because, again, I similarly to Megan, I guess, like I have been seeing the Pussycat Dolls on TV and music and everywhere since I was growing up as well. And I remember seeing you right in that, and it really was impactful. I think for a generation of people really who consume pop culture and consume kind of that kind of
Yeah.
music. And in doing research for this interview, I had no idea that Christina Applegate was an original member of the troupe,
Yes.
and that
Original.
she was one of your roommates at the time when you started it in
Yes.
1995. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because that's a fun fact right there.
Well, yeah, we met in a dance class, and she said, "Hey, Robin," she said, your brother and I, that my brother was an actor at the time, and she said we did a TV show together, and she's like, "It's so nice to meet you," and she was so sweet. I'm like, "You're Christina Applegate. Oh my God, you're Kelly Bundy. Like, I can't believe it." And we just started. We were taking dance class together. That's how it started. And then just one day, she said to me, she said she was going to Hawaii, and she said, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, okay. And we went to
Why
Hawaii
not?
together. She just sent me the greatest picture of us in the water, holding, hi, Madison, doing this. One hair leg up that I can still do. And she was like, "Oh my God, we call each other Rumi. We don't call each other by our names. We always call each other Rumi."
Cute.
And because I lived with her for over 3 years, and um I would take the me and I brought in three girls, Carla, Joey, and Lindsley, who were the original Pussycat Dolls, bring them in, and we would just start, choreographing these dance numbers. And then the next thing you knew, it was like, years later, I brought in like more girls, other girls, Carmit, different girls would come in and became the Pussycat Dolls. And this is, 8 years later, it was like everyone from Gwen Stefani to Christina Aguilera to Fergie to everyone that was in the audience, the cast of Friends, I became. I'll just backtrack 1 second. I became their in-house choreographer, and I ended up choreographing the routine.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that was really fun.
I love
And
that.
I know. That was pretty iconic. So I choreographed for Gwen, and got a lot of great, dance choreographed, jobs that I choreographed. And that's really, I started the Pussycat Dolls because I was so inspired by old musicals and burlesque, and a lot of different, I would choreograph like hot, sexy burlesque routines to like rock and roll music. And it was so people could kind of never figure out like, why is this so different and so hot? And it was sort of like you couldn't, I did something that was really unique and different. That's why someone like Gwen Stefani loved it. And she said, keep this going and keep this underground and keep it cool and everyone's going to love it. And she was right, and I always kind of took that advice from her.
Yeah.
And even if it blows up, keep it feeling like that underground kind
The
of
same
vibe.
DNA. Yeah.
Yeah, and I ran everything. I mean, I was doing everything. I had everyone helping me. It was everyone, but I was hanging the curtains, putting the rhinestones on everything, giving the glue gun to everyone from Mikey, who was assisting me, to all the girls that were working with me, that were the dancers, and having them put rhinestones on the boots. And it's funny because my brother was inspired by me and created the role Tess, who was Cher in burlesque, and created that role inspired by me, which is
It's
pretty
incredible.
incredible.
That's incredible. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
didn't. I had no idea that he had written and directed that movie. And now that is a staged musical in the UK, right?
yeah,
That's getting
yeah,
going as
and
well.
yeah. It's still in previews. We're in Manchester. We go to Glasgow, back to Manchester, then West End, then Broadway. But it's still in previews. My brother wrote it, directed it, owns the rights to it, which is incredible because it is his own, and he has a mind that is out unbelievable. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, he's helped me along the way with the Pussycat Dolls from beginning to end, and I'm so thankful for my brother Steven, for doing everything. So he shot all of the beautiful footage that's out there now on YouTube that you can see, and is just really good with, we've always worked together, and we work together really, really well, like
I love
partners.
that. I love
And
that.
yeah. And it's just it's been a wild ride of something that, I have always wanted to do what I'm doing. And my mom, who's British, who I passed 3 years ago now, is the one thing that, we always say, like, we wish so bad that she could
Yeah,
see what's happening now, because this is what she wanted, so I always say I do this for my mom.
that's so
um
special.
yeah, it really is. And but it's so fun, and we're having the we when I go to playground and I pull up, I get out and everyone's like, "Hey!" And it's a party every day. But
Well,
but there's always something happening. Like somebody will say, "Robin, I need to talk to you. Can we go outside?" And I'm like, "Oh, here we go."
well, Robin, I think that whether it's the Pussycat Dolls or burlesque and how that was you helped inspire that. and now Playground, which is something which is like the most prominent dance studio in the country at the very least. I think it speaks
Yeah.
to just like your ability to have built this brand over the years, which has just been really incredible. It's touched everything. It's touched dance, pop music, movies, clothing lines,
Yes.
dance videos, like anything you can think about has it's been at least touched by the Pussycat Dolls name, the Robin Antin name. And I'm curious, just looking back at the past 30 years, what was the
Yeah.
biggest inflection point for you? What was the moment where something really shifted into high gear, or you kind of, I don't know, figured out how to take it to the next level?
Well, I mean, regarding the Pussycat Dolls, I'll say the two things that happened were, the first thing was when we ended up through was because of McGee, who's a director and directed Charlie's Angels. He was, he took the video and gave it to Drew Barrymore, and Drew was like, "This has to be in Full Throttle. It's got to be in the Charlie's Angels
Yeah,
too."
part two.
And so
Yeah,
they played Undercover Pussycat Dolls, and I took myself out of it because I wanted to, be the it was like sort of like, you want to be the boss or you want to be in it, and I'm like,
sure.
I want to be the boss. And so that was a big one because I took all the costumes that I made. I was taught how to sew when I was really young. My grandfather was a British tailor, sewer, everything, and taught me how to sew. And so I made all of the costumes. And when I gave it to the costumer at on Charlie's Angels, and they gave them back to me, I'm like, oh my God, they're real costumes. They you can look inside and there's not shredded strings everywhere. You know what I mean? And like they were like real costumes. So that was being on the big, silver
Right.
screen, and being on the screen was
Major.
like, was wild. I mean, for me, it was, I watch it to this day and it's just so amazing. And so there was that. And then I'd say, like, when we first, obviously when we blew up, when the Pussycat Dolls blew up and we sold out the O2 many nights, and
Wow.
the crowd was just like the 20,000 people were just screaming, and so that was another one, and never ever ever thought that it was going to get that far, and it was just, absolutely insane. I'd say those were the kind of the two of the biggest moments of of chilling moments for me that
Yeah.
I didn't expect, yet I worked so hard to get there. And I had everyone around me. I really love to collaborate. Jimmy Iovine had signed from Interscope, had signed the Pussycat Dolls, not knowing what he was getting, not knowing what it was going to be, but we turned it into a pop group, and it exploded and became what it is today. And it's still going. It's still trending. I still own it, and it's just it's and I'm me and the girls all love each other, and everything is just, it's a beautiful thing that I get to do what I do and still be, be a boss, but have fun with it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course, always. And I think that element of fun is kind of tinged in everything that you've done too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I know that like some of the Pussycat Doll stuff is like there's some litigation happening that we don't need to talk about, but I'm curious if you have any future plans for
That's
more
all
pop.
gone. That's all done.
Oh,
Yeah, by
it's
the way,
done.
but
Okay,
it's done. Yeah,
okay.
but
Is there any
um,
future like pop music plans for the Pussycat Dolls?
well, listen, I'll just say this, and this is what Nicole, I know, has been saying: never say never for a
Okay,
reunion.
okay. Love
Yep,
to hear
and
that.
I
Love to hear that.
agree, and
Yeah,
we agreed together, and like I said, we're all sisters. I mean, I have all brothers, and I watch how they are together, and I'm like, hey, everyone, just chill out.
totally.
But
Yeah, that's good to
we
hear.
all, listen, we've spent many years together, and you know, we all love each other. It's like you look at other bands and you look at other things that have happened and how they've all come back together, and you've gone, it's sort of like, look at No Doubt, they just came back together and they did Coachella, and it was just like, whoa, I never saw that coming. And it's the great thing about the Pussycat Dolls is that there's no timeline. You know,
Absolutely.
it will happen when the stars align and when it's meant to happen. Nicole's very busy with her Sunset Boulevard that she won an Olivier for, and she's about to, I believe, win a Tony because she is
I'm
fantastic
going in
and it's got.
October. I'm seeing her in
Yeah.
October.
Oh, good. Yeah. She's gotten rave reviews, and I'm so proud of her. And, I'm so proud of all the other girls and what they're doing, and Ashley. And I mean, Melody is just, her, she's just been out there just singing her butt off like it's amazing,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
that I feel like I can say that I'm a part of helping them with I haven't made them, but I've helped create something in them that's a fire that's been burning, and that they then took and they created their own brands.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, as you said, you know how to spot stars, and you know how to
Yeah.
cultivate them and build them up. And that's a really special skill, and sort of, you can't teach that. You can't teach
I'm,
that,
wait-
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Simon Cowell to call me and say, come on up, come on board,
There we
come on,
go.
Robin, I need
Okay,
you.
okay, Robin, before we run out of time, so the other thing I did not realize about you was that your brother is Jonathan, who starred on Blowout
Yeah.
on Bravo. And so, which is a show that ran for years on Bravo about his
Yeah.
salon. And I'm just wondering what was in the water at the Antin household, because you're all so skilled, and you've all had star moments. It's really incredible.
I mean, I will say, it's my mom, honestly, she taught us well, and she taught us to, she's very creative. She was very creative. She and my father built an incredible interior design business and have the most impeccable taste you've ever seen.
Mm,
Um, my home is filled with all of their, you know,
incredible. Wow.
yeah, like
Look at that.
beautiful, yeah, just beauty, and all the books that I've learned
Love.
from, yeah, like just absolute incredible. And my mom was so creative and taught us all about, just live your dream and do what you're best at, and that's why my brother was an actor and then said, you know what, I really want to direct and I want to write because I have so much in my mind that I want to put out there, and I want to get it out there to make people feel and believe and love, and that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing with burlesque, and I'm so proud of him for what he's doing. And I think with Jonathan the same. Jonathan is just, he went to beauty school when he was really young, and he chose to do it on his own. No one, not my mom, no one gave him the sort of like,
Right.
go, no, do this. And he just decided, I'm going to do this on my own. And my mom was like, okay, go for it. And he turned into one of the biggest hair celebrity stylists. And
Yeah.
he's so good. He chops my hair up. It's a little long
Looking
right now, but
fabulous.
yeah, thank you. He is he's amazing, and he's so good on TV. I mean, he is like that, I would say, but on TV, it's like I think the camera kind of fires him up.
Of
You know what I
course.
mean?
Yeah,
It
as it
gets
should.
him a little riled up,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's pretty. He and we're very close. We're all very close, and but yeah, I think what was in the water was just uh, you know, Brenda and Mike's, juice.
Yeah, totally. Well, Robin, this has been so much fun to chat with you and to hear about your incredible career. And I'm so excited for people to see Playground on Hulu and to just take in this next era of your career. It's you always keep us on our toes, and you've just been so fun
Oh,
to watch over the years. So I appreciate your time today.
thank you so much, and thank you for doing all of your research and knowing about everything that I've done. I really appreciate that. I do.
Of course, always. Well, Robin, hopefully we talk again sometime soon, and have a good rest of your day.
I hope so too. Okay, bye.
I want to gab.